The new Rise of Iron trailer is out, and while Lord Saladin is looking badass in this intro cinematic, there are a lot of little details sealed away in this reveal. Let's dig into them. First, let's talk about the plague known as Siva. The Iron Lords encountered this plague hundreds of years ago, and while they sealed it away, they're now mostly dead except Lord Saladin. The Fallen dug it up and are using the technological plague Siva to power up. While we all know Fallen love technology, this has gotten a bit out of hand. It's gotten so out of hand that there is a new area called the Plaguelands in Rise of Iron. This is where the Fallen have taken over and begun using the Siva to build buildings, new tech, augment their abilities, and more. This area will contain new patrols, public events, a landing zone, and more. The goal of the Fallen? According to Bungie, it's to make themselves into machine gods and take over Earth. How much do they love tech? Well, here's a freaky boss enhanced with Siva augmentations, meaning he'll have new abilities like this weird teleportation thing and that arm that looks like it'll be a lot of trouble. On these new enemies, the website says every Fallen house has splicers, body hackers, and bioengineers who fuse metal and flesh. But the splicers of the House of Devils have uncovered the ultimate technology, Siva, a golden age breakthrough in self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. The Fallen have always worshipped machine gods. Now, armed with Siva, the Devil Splicers are becoming machine gods themselves. Confront the fallen Devil Splicers in the Plaguelands, find the source of the Siva, and contain the outbreak at any cost. Enough on the bad guys for a second, let's talk about the good guys. One of the most visually interesting spaces was this room with fires burning and a new unknown character standing in the middle. While the character looks a lot like any other Guardian based on her expressionless stare, the area she is in is the new social space. Felwinter's Peak, last used hundreds of years ago, is a place you'll need to go, kill a bunch of Fallen, and claim for yourself to unlock. This area we see is a mausoleum at the top of Felwinter's Peak, which is where there are statues of the Iron Lords who saved humanity and sacrificed themselves to do so. Deeds did briefly say that this area will play into endgame things they're not talking about now, and maybe that lady is an NPC that facilitates those missions. Or maybe it's just a random Guardian who got lost. But we'll find out more soon. Well, yes, Lord Saladin is a Titan. He is the only one that gets a cape and wolves that follow him around. Sorry, but no wolves for you. Players can, however, become an Iron Lord of their own, and a few of the new armor sets were showing off. On the Warlock, we saw a new Viking Warrior theme. On the Titan, Bungie described this red armor as more of a Siva theme or Warmind style armor. At this point, Deej pointed out that we get new armors from the foes we vanquished. Does that mean we'll fight a Warmind that's been taken over by Siva? It does sound like a bit of a stretch, but damn, that would be cool. Finally, for the Hunter, we see a cool looking set of gear, and again, when this was shown, Deej piped up to give some details about Trials of Osiris. He said that Trials will be getting an update, but beyond that, we didn't know much more. On the topic of weapons, there's no doubt that the giant axe was the talk of the town when all the leaks were happening, and now we have some juicy details. First, it's really cool, but it's also a limited use relic piece of gear. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you'll get to keep it, but the brief glimpse we saw where it was in action makes it look deadly. One weapon you will get to keep is the new Gjallarhorn. Yes, it is back. You can get a cool black Iron Gjallarhorn by pre-ordering Rise of Iron, or you can get one by completing an in-game quest where you'll forge the iconic weapon from the armor of fallen heroes. I know some will disagree, but I am so happy this weapon is back. On Weapons and Armor from Bungie's website, it says, to overcome the challenges that await in the Plaguelands, Guardians will have access to an all-new arsenal of weapons, armor, and gear, including Iron Lord-themed armor sets, new exotic weapons, an all-new raid, Iron Banner, and Trials of Osiris gear. On the same page, they also tease some new ghosts and tiny pictures of new weapons, but there's not much to go on there. Oh, and about that new raid, well, it was teased at a few points in the trailer and in images, so let's hypothesize, shall we? It looks like we'll begin at the top of the fractured wall we see in all the concept art before heading into battle. Makeshift bridges have been erected, and at least one of the enemies you fight will be a Death Zamboni, as Bungie affectionately called him on the stream. Remember that the name is only a placeholder and what I'll be calling this thing the first time I encounter it for real. Bungie also released one image of a large opening accompanied by the following text. Hidden in the Cosmodrome lies the true source of the Siva outbreak, guarded by the most zealous and powerful fallen Devil Splicers. 6 Guardians will plumb the depths to stop the threat at its source. Should they emerge victorious, they will return to the surface wielding powerful new weapons and armor forged from Siva itself. Finally, some details for last-gen players on the 360 and PS3. You will not be able to play Rise of Iron on those platforms. The bad news doesn't end there. Sorry, but as of August 2016, it seems like your progress will no longer be shared with current-gen players. Bungie said this summer that experience will fork into 2 parallel experiences that will no longer share progression, meaning that your experience on 360 and PS3 will stay on your platforms. However, if you do upgrade to a PS4 or Xbox One, Bungie also said that as Legacy Generation Guardians adapt to current platforms after August, there will be functionality in place to enable them to port their characters to the new console in the same family. So if you're on 360, you can't port to PS4. Duh. How much will that cost? I'm sure all will be revealed in good time. The content hits September 20th for $30 on PS4 and Xbox One. If we break down the features list, it'll contain a new cinematic story, most likely similar to that seen in The Taken King, new missions, new quest lines, and Crucible fans, it will have new Crucible maps, modes, and features. Does that mean custom matchmaking? I certainly hope so. As we learn more about Rise of Iron, we'll be sure to share, but in the meantime, keep it locked to IGN for all your Destiny needs.
It is time to avenge my brothers and sisters. Stand with me, Guardian. Prove yourself worthy, and the Iron Lords will rise again.